there's no cookie cutter. And a lot comes into personal branding too. And I can't teach my personal brand to my clients because it's me. So what I teach is that you have to embrace your personal brand and do the reps to test your market.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by Advanced Services and Fuse Networks. My name's Galen.
And I'm Joe.
And we're coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. So Joe, for our new listeners and viewers tuning in, how did we start our podcast?
Sure. So it first started out as a Facebook group page. The purpose was to bring business owners together to just kind of talk and communicate with one another, to help each other maybe learn how to run their businesses better. Because we're a marketing company, we get asked a lot of questions outside of marketing from our clients, just questions about business. And we thought, what a better way than to bring on different guest speakers to talk about all topics relevant to being a business.
Awesome. And today, our guest is Jeanne Omlor. And our topic today is growing a coaching business organically with social. So Joe, we know social is so important, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So to introduce our guest to our audience, Jeanne, do you mind giving a quick introduction of who you are to our audience, please?
Sure, I don't mind at all. My name is Jeanne Omlor, as you said. I am a business coach for coaches and consultants, and we help coaches and consultants to build their business online without ads or complicated tech.
And how did you get started in doing what you're doing?
Well, okay, so this iteration of my business started almost 5 years ago. I was a business and executive coach for 8 years prior to that out in the real world. And I decided I really needed to get online because at that point I was 54, a solo parent. I'm still a solo parent. And I was in deep debt. And I thought, okay, this offline thing is what's keeping me broke. And I really got to learn. I got to climb that mountain finally because I was avoiding learning about social media because I wasn't really loving social media. And I thought, I'm doing this. I have to do this. And I got online and I plonked down $10K on 3 different credit cards to do a course, a program. And it wasn't great, but it got me online and I figured out how to do organic social media marketing, and the rest is history.
Nice.
Awesome. So our audience, I'm sure, will be excited to hear about that. But before we get into the topic, we like to get to know our guests a little bit more. So we asked a couple questions. Joe, do you mind asking Jeanne the first question, please?
What are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
That we must embrace marketing. Even if we say we don't like it, and even if it makes us nauseous, we must embrace marketing. So that's the first one. The second one is everything starts with a step, and the remedy for everything in life and business is taking one step.
Awesome.
Because then you take another.
Yeah.
So next, since you've had a journey to become where you are now, what is the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Oh, wow, there's so much advice I've been given. I think it's just do the work. Just put the reps in, because praying's great. I love praying. I'm spiritual, but I call it praying with your feet. God helps those who help themselves. So it really is about just doing the reps. Just do the work.
Awesome.
My favorite question, which you've already kind of touched on, but why is marketing important?
Marketing is important because you can have the best pies in the whole entire world. And if that pie shop is at the end of a dark alley with mice and homeless people and mold, nobody's going to get to those lovely pies. So what we need to do is we need to bring our goodness to the light. And that is what marketing is. And it's important because it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't market. Because some really bad things are marketed well and sell, and some great stuff is not marketed well, and those companies go under. We never hear about them. So it really is so important that people just know what you do, what the product or service is, and how can they buy it. That's why it's important.
Well, it's music to our ears as fellow marketers ourselves. We like it when what we believe in gets validated by guests without telling you what to say. So thank you for validating that point.
You can pay me later for that, okay?
Okay, got you. Send me your Venmo.
Yeah.
Now we come to our advanced services pump you up quote of the day. So I asked you for a motivational quote. I'll read it. None other than from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So Jeanne, why is that so important to you?
I just got goosebumps, actually, because human beings associate memories with feelings. And when you make people, I was an actress for many years, so I know this. It's about feelings. It's not just saying words, right? So when you make people feel great about your services and not just do the work, that they feel great, they feel supportive, encouraged, if you're a coach, or if you buy something. Like for me, when I buy something and the person's not nice in the store, I remember that. I remember how they made me feel when I bought that pair of shoes, which happened actually. The woman treated me very shoddily. I'm like, I'm buying these really expensive running shoes. And I left and I said to my daughters, I'm never going in that store again because that didn't feel good. Sure, I got the shoes, but every now and then I'll remember that when I'm wearing those shoes. Do you think I like that? No, we associate that good memories with the feeling, and you want people to be associating you with a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, again, as marketers, we want that positive experience because the moment you have a negative experience, it's so hard to recover from that. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that. Now is our Fuse Network's Did You Know segment.
Millions of cyber criminals are out there on a daily basis trying to steal your information. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Small businesses account for 58% of cyber attacks annually. So help your company fight cybercrime and mitigate risk by being proactive. Call Fuse Networks, your local Seattle IT experts at 206-701-6040 for a complimentary IT network and security assessment.
So there's a couple myths that you provided to us that we'll take turns reading off and then just kind of get your thought on these. So especially with our topic today, growing a coaching business organically with social. Joe, do you mind reading the first myth?
Yeah. You should be on every social media platform.
Okay. I love that one because I got to $1 million on my own, almost just on Facebook, because I focused, because I understand the one thing. And what makes you not make money is splitting your focus, because then you do nothing well. And I'm not saying to not add stuff in an appropriate manner when you can integrate it and have help and not drop the plates and break them. And you get one plate in the air, you get it spinning, and then you get another one. Do you know why those clowns do them one at a time? Do you know why? Because it is impossible for a human being to get two plates up in the air at the same time. That's why they do them one and the other. They can't get them both at the same time. Your brain cannot do that. Can't do it. What does that tell you about entrepreneurship? People are always trying to do that all the time. So
right.
What I did and what I help my clients to do is you get one platform, you master it. Then you integrate another, and then you're getting help, and you get good at that one. And then you add another one, and then you integrate that, and I call it integration. And so I started with Facebook, and then I integrated, learned everything about Facebook. I'm still learning, but I keep abreast of that. Then LinkedIn, got a system going, created trainings, then Instagram. Now we're hitting TikTok. We're trying to figure TikTok out. TikTok's like an angry toddler. That's okay. We'll figure it out. All right. So that's how we do it. Then, then I'll hit YouTube big time. But you can't do it all at once because your human brain cannot learn all of these things. Take care of your kids, cook your dinner, eat, take care of yourself, health, your clients, sell and make money, and all of that good stuff all at once. Can't do it.
So why do you think the seduction's there for entrepreneurs to try to do it all the first time?
It's guilt and it's shiny object syndrome that they saw these people doing this stuff, but what they're doing is you cannot compare yourself to somebody that's not in the same level. So they see that Grant Cardone is all over the place. Well, Grant Cardone's all over the place. Are you Grant Cardone, and do you have a business as big as Grant Cardone's and the enormous team that Grant Cardone has? The answer is probably no for most people, unless you're another person of that level. So what we're doing is we're comparing our maybe budding business or business that's not as big, but they're doing that. And I'm always having to tell people, but are you them? Do you make that kind of money? Do you have that kind of team? Not to belittle, but to be real. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I was very humble about where I was. I got online. I thought, I'm learning one thing well, and it's working. Great. I'm going to stick with it. And I had all these people. Oh, when are you going to write a book? Not now. When are you going to do this? Not now. When are you going to do it? And all these people that were suggesting this were making way less money than me and were way less successful. Like, well, wait, why are you giving me advice when you haven't mastered doing the one thing? Becoming a master and actually learning and doing the reps and getting so good at that your one marketing avenue is bringing in way more than people that have 10 because they have not focused. So I'm not saying 10 won't work if you got the people managing those 10s because you got the 10 plates up one at a time. So there's a lot of nuance here because I'm not saying not to be all over. I'm saying do it at appropriate times where you are already making money from one marketing avenue and then are introducing another. Not, oh, I'm going to be all over social media. Those people are all over the place and they get up in the morning and they're just like doing tasks, just posting, spraying and praying, we call it, all over the place. Okay? That's not focus.
I like that.
Yeah. I actually want my clients to stop doing stuff. They're like, what, I'm doing less? Yes, do less. You'll make more money. You know? Now, I'm not saying never do anything. I started a podcast finally because I wanted to and I was ready. I had started one 3 years ago and it wasn't the right moment. Now, I usually don't ever quit anything I'm doing, but I thought I'm quitting this because it was a marketing agency said, you really have to do this. And I thought, no. Best thing I ever did was quit the podcast after 2 weeks. Okay. Because I thought, whoa, I'm not deep in it yet enough. Then I thought I'm going to wait until I'm ready and I can integrate it. I have the help. I have a podcast now. Was it work? Sure it was, but it wouldn't have been the drowning that it would have happened in those points. And I have help with it. And I enjoy it is the main thing. I thought, am I ready now? Am I going to enjoy speaking with people? Because at one point, I didn't want to do that at all. My mother had passed away. My sister passed away. Did I want to talk to people? No, not in that way. I talk to my clients, but no. So it's an appropriate time. And I waited and I thought, am I all in now? Yeah, I am. Okay, I'm going to do this. So it's a happy thing now. It's not, I got to do a podcast. And I think it's so important that when you're doing these new things that you want to do them or it won't work. Unless you don't want to market at all, then you're going to have to force yourself how to learn marketing. I'm sorry. Just going to have to bite that bullet.
Right. This next one I like to get, looking forward to get your response on. Aim for every post going viral.
Oh, well, that's impossible. That's like aiming for every ball to be a home run. We all know you don't win the game by just hitting home runs. You win the game by bunting and getting to first and then getting your team member to third. And, it's numbers. Okay. It's that whole lottery thing. And, I did a post and it didn't go viral. Great. Do another 1,000 and let's see if one of them by luck goes viral. Yeah.
And the last one is more followers equals more money.
Okay. I'll give you an example of this. I know a guy has 100,000 followers on Instagram. Guess how many clients he has?
5.
None.
0.
There, I say no more. Rest my case.
Okay.
So let's transition then into the topic. So growing a coaching business organically with social. What are some platforms that are best used for coaching businesses?
You mean like platforms, social media platforms?
Platforms for social media, yeah.
Got it. Okay, I thought you were thinking like Kajabi. Okay, so I figured out that all coaches, all of them, can be successful on either Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, or 2 of those or 3 of those. So for an example, an executive coach must be on LinkedIn. An executive coach really shouldn't be on Instagram because it's like, how are you going to identify executives? You might randomly find one. So, and then it's more about the mood of the person. So those three alone are sufficient. You don't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to be on TikTok. You could be. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying those three, definitely. If you're hitting one or two or three of those, you're good. And if you want to add another one, that's fine. I know some people are just on YouTube. That's good. But a lot of people cannot be successful on YouTube. It's just so much work and it takes a long time. And YouTube's great, but it's a different, longer term thing. It's kind of like an email list, YouTube, right?
Yep.
Right? But anybody can immediately get immediate clients on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And I'm the immediate gal. It's not, hey, let's work together and let's spend 2 years building an email list and maybe you'll get enough traction and maybe somebody will, because we all know you don't send an email and everybody just signs up. That's a long-term indoctrination of your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to get short-term, quick clients, those are the three that you can, of course, TikTok's hard to master because it's an angry toddler. It's like, oh, maybe we'll go viral and we don't know why. Okay. It's hard to actually have a strategy for TikTok except just posting a lot of content, So that's a hard nut to crack because a lot of it is just like luck, right? A little bit of luck comes into all things, but the other ones have actual like algorithms we can understand a bit more. So those three, I can help people to get clients almost immediately on. Sometimes the next day. Can't promise that, but it's not like there's a waiting period. It's just do the reps.
Yeah. So with the content that you coach your clients to on those platforms, if it's LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram, is it mostly video content you're coaching them on? Video, short form video?
Anything.
Anything?
Anything. And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of coaches have like their way. This is how you have to do things. And they make up stuff all the time. Like, oh, you have to post this. No, you don't. I know that you don't have to post 3 posts on Facebook to get traction. Nope. I never posted 3 posts per day, but you have to post 3 because they like having these structures so that it looks like a brand then, like their rules. Okay. And I'm the first one to say, nope, anything can work. However, it is good to have a mix because this is the reason. Some people don't like watching videos. They just don't. Some people don't like reading. They just don't.
Yeah.
So if you do all videos, like me, I don't want to start. I don't like watching a lot of videos, to be honest. I don't. I'd rather just quickly skim a post or see something. Every now and then I'll be like, oh, it's a video. However, I do make videos because some people love videos. Some people love my videos. So it is about mixing it up and seeing what your market likes. Because there is no rule for one market. That's just ridiculous. That I customize with my coaches, like what they're doing. There's no cookie cutter. And a lot comes into personal branding too. And I can't teach my personal brand to my clients because it's me. So what I teach is that you have to embrace your personal brand and do the reps to test your market, I don't call it audience because I hate that word because I'm an actress and it's like you're on a stage and there's all these people in the dark. I don't like the word audience. I like your market, your tribe, your people, your avatar, the people in front of you. Okay. So you've got to test a lot to see what they like. And you got to fail a lot and be okay with that. It's just a test because business in the end is just testing. And that's what people are forgetting is business is testing. And actually a very famous business consultant called Alan Weiss, I think, wrote that in a book that I read many years ago. And I thought that's the best sentence in the whole world is business is testing. It takes away all of that home run lottery ticket mentality. I'm just going to do a test. I'm going to see what happens. Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay. I got the numbers from that. I got the data. That didn't work. No boo-hoo. It just didn't work. Next test. Okay, that worked a bit better. Next test, that works really well. Okay, so this is what people are missing, is they're missing the ratio of the testing and the action taking. It's all this amateur, I'm going to hit a home run, I don't hit a home run, I'm going to sulk. So people have to be more mature in their businesses and stop sulking when it's not personal. It just didn't work. People sulk about their market not liking their posts. Well, I'm sorry. You can't open a restaurant and people think your food is terrible and blame them. They didn't like the food. They didn't like the post. Keep going till you get the recipe that people are going to actually want to go into your restaurant and buy that food, and keep going and make it a successful business. Does that make sense? You've got to just keep testing, but don't take it personally.
So with your clients, or how you look at content strategy for different platforms, is it testing different things on different platforms? So one piece may be different on LinkedIn compared to it is on Facebook, depending on, you don't like the word audience, so I'll use a different word for your followers or your
community.
Tribe. Community. The community on Facebook's different than the community on LinkedIn, so the content strategy is different then? Even if it's the same topic or context, you're pivoting it differently? And
Okay, so it just depends, because sometimes I'll see a post and I'll think, that worked on Facebook. Yeah, we can put that on LinkedIn as well. Okay. But often content on Instagram, some of it really, unless it's just a post with some of it won't translate well because there's carousel posts. But sometimes I put carousel posts from Instagram onto my LinkedIn. Nobody seems to care. I test whatever because there is no rule. We made that up. It's just test it. What is the worst thing that could happen? They don't like it. Okay. They don't like it. They don't engage. Oh, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. But sometimes those carousel posts that I stick on LinkedIn with all the different, I stick them on LinkedIn. People are like, oh, I love this. So I think it really doesn't. I mean, certain things, all of the reels, they can all go on LinkedIn. Sure. LinkedIn has changed a lot in the last 10 years. They're really getting away from that stodgy kind of business thing that it used to be and boring. They're really trying to make it kind of like Facebook, and you see all sorts of personal stuff on LinkedIn. So I think people are a little bit, they're not realizing that you can post it and nobody's going to jump down your throat or hate you if it's not businessy enough. If your market's there and they like it, sure, put it on. Why not? The main thing is not about engagement and likes. It's about, is it translating into actual customers, clients, and making you money? That's the question. Well,
this last one then.
Yeah.
Making you money. So this last myth, you probably already answered it, but we'll still get your thought on it. More followers equals more money.
Absolutely not. I know people that I know a woman and she has 10 or 12,000 followers on Instagram, and she makes $300,000 a month with that few. Because it's what you're doing with those numbers and how you're touching them in different ways, because she has the group, and so it really doesn't matter. As I said, it really, except for, she must be good because she has so many followers. But if you have all these followers and you're not doing anything with it, and your content's not pulling people in and intriguing them to work with you, then people have done a lot with very small lists. It's like email lists. Some people have very small lists and they make so much money because their emails are so great. They're targeted people and they're digging them. So these rules I hear these rules all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's a rule. People love creating these rules. Okay. And people break them every day. I get emails that break it. And I'm like, that's a great email. I bet that sold. Broke every single email rule. Okay. When I started posting on socials, I wasn't studying copywriting. I didn't do all that. I just posted my story raw. Sometimes I was Sometimes I was lying in bed in the morning, talking into my phone and creating the post, and then just correcting a couple of things and publishing from my bed. Oh, I love that post. It's brilliant. That's great. I just wrote it in 5 minutes. Okay. And I wasn't checking about the hook, and I just wrote it. And people be like, oh, a lot of copywriters would approach me. Oh, I can make your writing so much better. I said, that works. So my clumsy writing with no actual hook or whatever, people just loved it. So you can break every single rule if you're authentic.
What are 2 things, maybe 2 or 3 things you see that most coaches do wrong?
They believe that they're going to plug everything in. I always say, I'm just going to plug everything in. If something sounds too good to be true, it is. So when they're marketed to by these marketers that are going to create all these funnels and you're just going to get a flood of clients, whoa, I'm like, no, that's never going to happen. But people are too attached to the fairy dust syndrome. I'm going to sprinkle fairy dust all over your head and you're going to be, and clients are going to shower on your head. It's just not the way business works. So that's the first thing. The other thing is they keep saying, I just want to coach. I just want to coach. Well, sure, I just want to coach too, but I'm not going to throw a hissy fit to the universe because I have to actually market it. Because that's life and that's reality. When I first started coaching, I did have a bit of a hissy fit. I told my first coach, what, you want me to market? Oh, that very word makes me nauseous. She's like, Jeanne, you need to learn how to market your business. I said, really? She goes, yes. And I said, okay, I guess I have to do this. Gulp. And I did it because I'm a big girl and I realized she was right. So it's really about embracing what you need to do to get what you want in life. There's two types of people. Okay, many types. In my world, two types when it comes to business people. One, the person that says, I want this, I want millions of dollars, I want all this, yes, I want it. But they are not prepared to do what it takes to get that. The second person is, I want all this, yes, I want it, and I'm prepared to do what it takes to get that. Whether it's painful, whether I got to get up, whether I got to do this, whether I got to do stuff I don't like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop complaining. So those are the two types. Now, I suggest the people that are in category one, give it up. Just give it up. Because if you're not prepared, it's ruining your life because you're in an in-between middle limbo ground. So you say you want stuff, but you're never going to do it. So you're just in this limbo. I want it, but I'm never going to do it. Get yourself to the camp of, I'm going to do what it takes, or I'm going to give this idea up because I'm not prepared and just have a nice life. Because then you have peace of mind. And the most important thing in this life is peace of mind.
So for those people out there who have those dreams, they have a goal, and then they commit to doing it, what are one or two things you could tell those people to take the next step when they can't really do it themselves? They need to hire a professional like yourselves. Because oftentimes it's almost, you have to realize, like, I'm ready to do this. I can't do it alone. And that takes the big boy pants to put on and, all right, you got to do it. What are those kind of indicators to, all right, now I really need to do it? So to our audience listening, they're in that boat. What would you tell those people right now?
Look, if you're waking up every morning and you're frustrated because your business is not getting where it wants to go, why are you keeping in that limbo and that pain? Why? You want to ask yourself, do I like living like this? Frustrated because I'm not getting the clients I want. Okay, is it yes or a no? It's a no. I don't want to live like this. Do something about it. Get help from someone that has done what you want to do, but is not a guru that you can't actually model. So, like, don't go for the guru, like Tony Robbins. Well, he doesn't actually teach you how to get clients. It's more mindset. But the person that's 3 or 4 steps ahead of you, where it's still touchable, where it's still like, okay, I can see that I could follow in those footsteps and get where she or he is going. That's the thing. Get help. Don't be that person that refuses to ask for directions. Because what does that person do? The person that refuses to ask for directions goes around and around and around, and everybody in the car is annoyed, and you're losing your time. Then you're late, and your trip is ruined, but they couldn't just stop, drive in to a gas station and say, hey, I'm lost. How do I get there? Now, I am the first person to stop and ask for directions because I don't want to waste a minute of my life. Okay, so that is a good thing about me. I don't want to figure stuff out. Why? I'll figure stuff out critically for my business that I need to figure out. But why would I want to waste time and money when somebody over there knows the answer? Pay them. What's the answer? Thank you. I'm going to move on now. That is a mindset of success. The mindset of not success is, well, I'm just going to muddle around in the mud for another year and become demoralized, hate my life, and I won't even want to do this business. Sure enough, I hear that all the time. Yeah, I was super excited, but now I'm trying to figure it out for a year, and now I'm just not excited anymore, and I've gone back to doing my XYZ job. That's a shame. And why? Because they don't understand the simple business concept of investing in your business. It's an investment. You don't start a business and pay for an LLC, and that's the end of it. And so many people do that. Like, oh, I'm not going to invest in my business. What? You're not going to invest in your business? You invested in going to college. What did that get you? Except a piece of paper in most cases. So it really has to be, do you honor yourself? Do you want to make this work? Yes, I do. Do you want to make it work? Yes, I do. Then you got to get help from somebody who's not a guru. It's somebody that's like, okay, I've done this over 450 times. Clearly it works. There's all these testimonials. Right. That's pretty much social proof. Okay. I'm very straight with my clients. I don't tell them it's magic wands. I say, this is what I don't know exactly when you're going to get clients, but we have done this for 450 other people. So I'm guessing that's pretty good proof it works. And we customize. Okay. That's better than, hey, come into my program. We're going to do everything for you and fairy dust is going to fall on your head and it's only going to be $3,000. Don't do it. When a person is honest that it does take work, that's the person you want to work with, because everybody else is selling a dream. I don't sell a dream. I make dreams happen.
Big difference. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if you're taking new clients and want to connect with you?
Sure. So first of all, I want to be clear that my market is coaches, consultants, and service providers. So that could be email marketing, it could be digital marketers. That's what we thrive with, because this system, I actually had some financial advisors and they said this would work, and it did. So it's not my market, but sure, I took them and they were like, this changed everything in this organic marketing. So my link, which I think you have, is jeanneomlor.com/reviews/ that takes you to all the goodness. There's a booking link there. And yes, I'll be honest. Of course, we're always open to clients, because I'm not going to do any of that weird scarcity. Like, I only have 2 spaces left. That's not true. Yes, welcome.
We love your directness and honesty, because a lot of times it is the fairy dust you sprinkle and you hope and spray and, let's see what happens. Just one quick question. So you mentioned you're an actress. So what was your acting experience? And talk to us about that.
I was an actress for many years. And I'm glad you asked, because I was thinking about that when I was talking about marketing, and you read my mind. I was a very talented actress, like many actors. I was not good at marketing myself in those days. If I knew what I know now, that would have been a different career. And I knew that after the fact, because I didn't want to market myself. I was very sensitive and, I don't want to sell myself. People should just know, So I did try, but the problem with acting is you're selling yourself. And it's it is personal. When they say, no, you don't have a role, it's personal. It's how you look, how you act, everything. Okay? Age, everything, and the talent. The good thing is when I started coaching, I thought, oh, great, this is amazing. This is not about how I look, or this is about how well do I do this job. Sure, on socials, if you look a certain way and you look trustworthy and fairly attractive, it can help. But heck, I know a lot of very plain coaches out there that are men coaches that are raking it in. Nobody seems to care. Okay, so it's definitely not like acting. It's more about know, like, trust. And does this person seem like they will do a good job? That's really what people are thinking. Will this person be able to work with me and help me get results? That's all they want to know. They want to know that you got them covered. So I come across that way because of the reality that I've done it a million times. It's not faking. People feel that. They're like, okay. And also, she's kind of like a mom. I am a mom. And, probably going to take care of me. So yeah, I mean, the acting thing, I was terrible at marketing myself. Awful. I was really shy. I'm like, I don't want to be too blah, 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 this and that. Yeah, it's a problem. Now I know that coaches have coaches now. They have business coaches. I never had that. There are coaches that coach actors on how to go get business now. The business of coaching. We never had that. Brilliant. So needed.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. I mean, yeah, just the directness, honestness. I mean, it just comes through. We've had other coaches come on, and some of it is more fairy dusty, but when you have like real numbers, like, all right, 450 people went through the program, success rate, the numbers don't lie. So that social proof is.
And I've personally made
awesome.
Over 3.5 million myself. I'm not counting it somewhere. I don't know exactly today, but it's over 3.5 million with the same exact methods.
Yeah, your playbook is set. So
same exact methods. I'm doing what I'm telling people to do.
Awesome. So we'll post those links on how to get a hold of Jeanne for people that want to. But on behalf of our sponsors, A Advanced Services and Fuse Networks, my name's Galen.
I'm Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Jeanne, thanks so much for sharing your insights with us. We love it when guests just tell us the unhinged truth of everything and real data and everything. So thank you for joining us. And thanks everyone for watching this episode, listening to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.